Hello everyone, welcome to Kaylee College of Commerce. I, Professor Sneha Hiremath of Kaylee College of Commerce, Vidyanagar, Hubli, would like to explain Chapter 3rd, that is Management and Business Environment. What is environment? Here, environment means the surrounding in which a person operates. The nature of global business environment guarantees that no matter how hard we work to create a stable and healthy organization, our organization will continue to experience dramatic changes far beyond our control. A business does not operate in vacuum. It means that it is a part and parcel of the environment surrounding. Success of business largely depends upon the suitability of environment around it. Hence, in order to survive and grow, an enterprise has to adapt itself as per the business environment. For example, what is environment? Here, if we sell saris in India, it has a demand. Whereas if the saris are sold in US or in France, the demand for the saris may not be there as compared to Indian markets. So thus environmental study is required in order to survive and grow for an enterprise. Meaning of business environment. Business environment means the sum total of all individuals, institutions, and other forces that are outside the control of a business enterprise, but that may affect its performance. As one writer has put, just take the universe, subtract from it the subset that represents the organization, and the remainder is environment. Here, it means that there is some force which operates outside a business enterprise and it's part of the environment. So, the individual consumers or competing enterprises as well as the governments, consumer groups, competitors, courts, media, and other institutions working outside an enterprise constitute its environment. The important point is that these individuals, institutions, and forces are likely to influence the performance of a business enterprise, although they happen to exist outside its boundaries. External forces. Here, in the meaning of business enterprise, it means that there are certain external forces which are not within the control of the business enterprise. They are, suppose if there is increase in taxes which affects the price of the products or the service. Next, technological improvements may render existing products obsolete. That is, because of the change in the technology, the product may become obsolete. Next, because of the political uncertainty that may create fear in the minds of investors. Next, that is changes in fashion and taste. It also affects the demand for the product as well as for the services. Increased competition, that is, new substitutes may affect the existing market and it may reduce profit margins of firms. Thus, these are some of the examples or the external forces which are not within the control of the business enterprise which is existing. Features of business environment. First one, totality of external forces. Business environment is the sum total of all the external forces that directly or indirectly influences the working of a business system. What are direct influencing factors and what are the indirectly influencing factors we will discuss later. The next point is specific and general forces. Business environment includes both specific and general forces. Specific forces are such as investors, customers, competitors, and suppliers. They are affecting individual enterprises directly and immediately in their day to day working. For example, if investors are not investing in the business enterprise, it is affecting that particular individual enterprise. If the customers of that particular product is not retaining, that is, if the customers are switching for any other products, it affects that individual enterprise. Next, general forces. General forces such as social, political, legal, and technological conditions, these indirectly affect the business enterprise. For example, if there is increase in taxes by government that make things expensive to buy, if there are sudden change in the technology that may affect or make the existing products obsolete. Third feature, interrelatedness. The different elements of business enterprise are closely interrelated. For example, because of the pandemic effect, there is increased awareness for the healthcare products, and thus it has raised the demand for the organic food and roasted snacks, etc. Thus, the different elements of business environment are closely interrelated. Fourth feature, dynamic nature. The business environment is dynamic in nature. That is, it keeps on changing, whether in terms of technological improvement, shifts in consumer preferences, or entry of new competition in the market. For example, changes like invention of new techniques of production, a new minister in the government, changes in industrial policy. Due to this dynamism of business environment, management is required to remain highly cautious, alert, and adaptable. Fifth feature, uncertainty. Business environment is largely uncertain as it is very difficult to predict future happenings, especially when environment is changing too frequently like in case of information technology. Not only in case of information technology, it is very difficult for a garment manufacturing company to predict the frequently changing fashion. Sixth, that is complexity. Business environment is a complex. It means that it is very difficult to understand as it is a combination of many factors which are interrelated and interdependent. It is relatively easy to understand environment in parts, but it is very difficult to know the relative influence of a particular force on functioning of the business enterprise. For example, it may be difficult to determine the extent of relative influence of social, economic, political, technological, or legal factors on change in demand of a product in the market. That means if there is change in the price that affects the demand, which can be measured, but change in the fashion which is affecting the demand of a product, it cannot be measured exactly. Change in the political condition which affects the demand for a particular product, it cannot be measured. It is very difficult to analyze. Lastly, relativity. Business environment is a relative concept since it differs from country to country and even region to region. For example, a shift of preference from soft drinks to juices will be welcomed as an opportunity by the juice company, while soft drink companies takes it as a threat. It means one's opportunity will become a threat for another business.